Traders, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about AMC. We're going to break it down as quickly as possible. I'll try to get you out of here very fast. Now the chart looks extremely bullish. We are still slowly grinding to the top, and I think we're going to hit that $37.5 to $40 target by the end of the week. I love the actual rate in which we're moving, and let's start breaking it down right now. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it.
I'm coming in hot.
All right, so if you're brand new here to the channel, we've been doing these daily updates, and I'm actually going to close this one out. Someone in the Discord was mentioning the MA. But as we look at this, let's take a quick little look. Now, at the beginning of the day, we had a lot of red in the market, right? You had an immediate just downside push. It was pretty gross. Now, personally, I'm going to be completely transparent. I got out of my options. I mentioned that on Twitter. I went over in Discord. It did look really bullish. You still held that VWAP overall, but just the level of risk oriented with the options that I had to make a quick decision, and I'm always going to try to reduce risk so I don't take huge losses. So I'm fine taking a 10 to 15% loss, because typically when we win, if you see, it's between 40 to 70% when we're usually taking those profits. So accruing the small loss or taking that, especially with how much blood was in the water this morning, I was perfectly okay with it. Yes, I did miss this initial push up, but ultimately it's still following that trend. But that is the dangers when it comes to trading options. You have to make fast decisions, and you have to know when enough is enough. And so this morning, when it had that initial dip, I saw that coming down, but I will say there was a key buy signal, and it was right there. You see that perfect touch of last week's open? That was the signal that this was in fact very bullish. You saw an immediate bounce. I mentioned this actually in Discord, but I just didn't pull the trigger. I was heavily invested into Pfizer already. We're going to that chart here in a second, but let's go over AMC. Now, I want to address a few things. You're holding the VWAP very nice, this blue line right here, right? You're just trending straight up, and you're holding it extremely nice. Now, at the end of the day, you were getting touches and strong bounces. This is extremely bullish. Now, something I didn't like on the daily look at this, right? You are getting a double top around this range, and really you're touching this $36 range a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can count some of these too. So let's say 6 on the lower side of things, right? And then you're pushing back down. But the good news, like I said, is you're bouncing on that VWAP, and you're kind of getting a pin in here, right? Now, I want people to realize that there is, in fact, risk here, and that's why I didn't just make this play. I think you're going to get that little push to here, but I do believe you're going to start pushing down from here and getting a little bit of a retracement. That's not bad news. That's just how you move against resistances. But what you want to see is not this. You don't want to see a straight downward shot from that range. What you would like to see is something more along these lines. You want to see a push up to here, and then more of a flag sideways, and then a break back up. This is what you want to see, a channel to the downside. And if I had to assume where we go from that range, I would say it's safe to assume you push back down to this range right here, like 35.7 to 35.8. So again, what you're expecting from this range is a push to here, push down, and then a break back up, right? And hopefully mounting this range right there, and that becoming your key support that flips from a resistance, and that's what you're looking at. And then from there, obviously pushing 42, then 52, but those are going to be for later videos. So I like what's going on here. You're still extremely bullish. You look extremely strong. The chart, it really couldn't get better. So let's take a look at the OBV. So on these shorter time frames, we're going to look here for a sec. Obviously, you're flagging, you're hitting these key ranges. It looks like you're about to get a huge breakout. But let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, because this is the one that really matters, right? This is the one that we're always talking about, and the one that ultimately has us extremely excited. Ignore that line there. It's a time frame. So as I've been mentioning over the past few days, you're getting that breakout, the bullish break. Now, I want it to be mentioned, I don't see us going straight up like that. That's not what I see. Personally, I think you see stagnation, pushing up in September, coming some more, and then just steadily going up. I don't think this is going to be a straight shot. A good example too is to look back at what happened previously, right? You broke out here, you pumped up, came down, and you really started moving. Now, it's important to know a lot of the call options are in mid-September. That's where it looks like the big move will come from. So keep that in the back of your mind. So it is possible that you run through here, but we're going to want to see more options come into later dates to really start seeing this thing push. I don't think you have enough right now at September to get you on a huge parabolic run past $70. Now in January, there are a ton of options, and that's where I really see this thing getting really interesting. But also, you can start seeing the ones in January covering because there's already so many in the money, and those should and could start covering between November and December. So that really leads you to carry through the end of the year, and then inevitably getting the biggest of the pushes in the beginning of the year around January when those Q4 earnings should be coming out. All right, so if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen I've been talking about Pfizer all day long. I'm actually going to go to the 15-minute really quick. So on Pfizer, it's probably my favorite stock that is an AMC right now, obviously. And I believe this is set up for a huge gamma squeeze right now. And I'm not one of those people that falls around and looks for all the squeeze plays or short squeezes or anything like that. But if you look at what's going on with Pfizer, it's shockingly similar to Moderna. This is Moderna. Moderna, you went from $352, even less than that actually, but from 352 when you started getting the squeeze, all the way up to almost $500 in the matter of 5 days. You saw a huge push just going straight parabolic. Now, what happened here is there was tons of options outside of the money. And when that happened, they started accruing in, and then they started stacking up and up and up. And this really shows you what can happen with options. Now, Moderna is a small scale level of what could happen with AMC. So this is a very good example to see what could really start to happen when there's no dilution occurring. So if this starts to happen, if we go back to PFE, which is Pfizer, I believe this thing will start going absolutely crazy, and the price is a lot cheaper than something like Moderna. Now, you've seen a really parabolic move over the past few months, but you haven't seen that immediate gamma squeeze. There are tons of options expiring this Friday at the $50 strike, and there has been immense volume coming into those throughout the day. The open interest is sky high, and it's only getting larger. And now you're seeing the next week's, the 27th of August, get even higher as well. We saw the volume double today, and it's getting higher and higher, and more money is flowing in. I believe this could run to $52, possibly $54, maybe even higher, but I'm being pretty conservative because I'm sitting in those calls right now. Now, personally, I took profits on my $50 strikes for this week during the trading day because those got up to around 60% profit, so I had to cut those. And then we also cut the ones from last week as well. So overall, we're sitting really good with Pfizer. I like where it's at. You're breaking those local highs, and I think going into the end of this week, maybe even Wednesday, you're going to start to see the gamma squeeze occur. Once you get above 50, I think it gets pretty crazy, and I can't really predict what's going to happen, but I expect a lot of upside. $52 is kind of my minimum target, but this could easily start running even higher with all these options expiring in the money. It could get, the covering could get absolutely insane. All right, so I wanted to keep the video pretty short to the point. I also wanted to cover Pfizer. Obviously, I love Pfizer. People were asking me a lot of questions on Twitter. Am I getting in? Am I getting out? I only post what I have. And I think it's pretty clear I'm posting exactly what I expect in these videos as well. Now, I know there's no more spots on Discord. I can't really give you an ETA when spots will be available, but I don't plan on adding any spots until the beginning of the year, and I know it's going to be some time. But I recommend following on Twitter for live updates, things like that, and I try to always answer my DMs. But please, I'm asking you, do not DM me saying, Tyler, is this a good play or should I get into this? I cannot give financial advice. I can just give my opinion on what I'm doing with my overall position on stocks. I never want to be the guy that's coming across as a dick or an asshole, but I have to be very direct because I have to protect myself at all times. But as always, I love and appreciate all the support. AMC looks absolutely beautiful. Pfizer looks beautiful. I think, boys, we're going to the moon. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Namaste.